thanks for joining us. I'm Samantha Nygaard.
And I'm Allison Christie. We're going to be telling you a little bit about our cities.
Tonight I will be talking about Yokohama, Japan.
And I will be telling you about Amsterdam. Amsterdam is the capital and most populous city of the Netherlands. It is located in the North Holland province, and it makes up a large part of the Randstad conurbation, which is one of the largest conurbations in Europe, with a total population of more than 7 million people. In 2014, Amsterdam had an estimated population of 810,000 within its city limits, but the urban area as a whole has a population estimated at 1.1 million and the greater metropolitan area of 1.6 million. The city has a population density of 4,439 people per square kilometer. The Netherlands as a whole is known for having a strong and well-balanced education system. Starting at age 3 or 4, a child attends primary school for 8 years and then transfers to secondary school. Amsterdam in particular has 190 primary schools. It also has 2 globally renowned research universities. 72% of adults in Amsterdam have completed the equivalent of a high school diploma. As of March 2015, the unemployment rate in Amsterdam was 7%. This is the lowest it's been in the past 2 years. Their average over the last decade was 5.38%. Amsterdam does not have the traditional issue of informal settlements. They have a small percentage of residents that are under the poverty line, but to combat this issue, they have a very strong program with social housing. What the city does have are called allotments. These are essentially informal settlements of people living along the railway outside of the city in the green belt. But these are people that can afford their own homes. They just choose to live simply as a way to get out of the busy city. They are also different from other informal settlements as they have some kitchens and bathrooms that are much more advanced than those seen in other informal settlements. Instead of living in shacks, they're living in tiny houses. What makes Amsterdam unique is its sustainability initiatives. It is among the top 5 most sustainable cities in the world. Specifically, it has increased its electric transportation, it requires the use of sustainable building materials, and its most popular form of transport is bicycles. In fact, Amsterdam is the only city in the world with more bicycles than people. And now here's Zach to tell you about his city.
Hi guys, my name is Zach Covey and my city is Curitiba, Brazil. It's located in the state Pará, so it's in southern Brazil, right here on this big red dot. It's near São Paulo and about 50 miles to the coastline where there's a big trade depot and port as well. So Curitiba can be both a break-a-ball point for the ships coming in because they don't have a huge transportation center at the coast. So it's a break-a-ball point as well as a huge economic center for all of Brazil. And population trends in my city, again, our state is Pará, so we can zoom on over. In 2000, it was around 9.6 million. 2010, it was around 10.5 million. So that saw about a 10% increase in population growth in 10 years. Since the 1970s, the population growth of Curitiba's metro has been growing at a rate faster than other metros in Brazil. And between 1970 and 1991, the population actually doubled, which led to about a 23.7% increase in the state's population. Today, nearly 30% of that population of the state of Pará actually lives in my city of Curitiba. And how to make them more environmentally friendly. You can see tons of parks and tons of trees. It's deemed one of the most environmentally friendly cities in the world, and that's why it's used as a case study for not only the Middle East, but also a lot of American cities as well. Amsterdam is one of the other top leading environmentally friendly cities, but Curitiba is right there as well, and you're kind of seeing 2 hemispheres and 2 different sides of how to incorporate green space and environmentally friendly conscious ideas into your urban design and planning. But we do have informal settlements. This is a small informal settlement. I'll break that down now. Informal settlements, we have about 896 informal settlements in Curitiba. That's according to the World Bank and the IMF. About 100,121 households make up these informal settlements. That's about 13.3% of the households in the entire city of Curitiba. So it is still kind of a big deal. Not as huge as some areas in Brazil, but still it is a huge deal. Most of the settlements are relatively small. Again, like I showed you, that was a relatively small one, and some of the ones behind me are still relatively small. Small settlements include houses less than 50 houses in the settlement. So that's about 57.1% of these settlements. About 38.4% are medium and 4.5% are large settlements. That includes houses that are greater than 501 houses per settlement. So informal settlements are still a huge deal. About 72.1% of them formed between the 80s and 90s. Today, post-2000, only about 14.3% of the settlements are forming. So we are beginning to see a huge decrease in the form of informal settlements, but we do have a way to go. And one reason why is because we're helping the unemployed get employment through recycling. They can help recycle across the area, and in return, by picking up all the garbage and recycling across the city, they can get food, clothing, and bus tokens. I can't speak. Bus tokens to help get them to potential job interviews and areas to enhance their education and employment status. So we're trying to help get the unemployment off the streets and out of those informal settlements and participate in the economic activities in society. And finally, education is a huge deal as well. About 6.5% over the 6.5% of the population has over 15 years of schooling. That's a huge deal. That's about 6.5% are considered like doctorates here in America. So 15 years of schooling could equal around a PhD. And then 30 higher ed facilities as well. Trade vocational schools, that's their higher ed. So you've got tons of different trades and vocational and professional schools to go to. And then they have 5 universities. 3 of the universities I was showing behind me. So it is a very educational big program. About 90% of their population does have an education, and their literacy rate is around 92%. So that's a huge deal. It's a pretty nice city. And I'll show you one more view of my city in the Central Business District. Right there, there it is. There's all of it. And it's a multi-nuclei model, so that is awesome as well. So that is Curitiba, Brazil, and now I'll send it off to my next group member.
And now I'll share about Yokohama, Japan. Yokohama is located along the coast of Japan, only 1 hour by train south of Tokyo. Yokohama is the first Japanese harbor city introduced to the world back in 1859, and then since then, Yokohama quickly has grown from a small fishing village to one of Japan's major cities. Yokohama is Japan's second largest city with a population of about 4 million people as of March 2015. And Yokohama's population density is 8,500 people per square kilometer. As for informal settlements in Yokohama, there are slum districts in Japan that are known as doyagai. Kotobuki is a well-known doya in Yokohama, and Kotobuki is set in the heart of Japan close to the Yokohama Stadium where the DNA BayStars baseball team is located. This is also part of Koreatown and where a lot of ethnic minorities reside. Yokohama has been making strides to reduce homelessness, and Japan's official homeless population has declined from 25,000 people in 2003 to only 8,000 homeless people in 2014. This improvement is partly due to a 2002 Homeless Self-Reliance Support Law. And under this law, national and local governments have shared the cost of constructing homeless shelters to get people off the street and help them get back to employment and housing. Unemployment in Yokohama has decreased to only 3.5% as of February 2015. Compulsory education in Yokohama requires 6 years of elementary school education from the ages of 6 to 12. Children enter elementary school in the April following their 6th birthday, and after graduating from elementary school, they enter junior high school. Tuition is free in public elementary and junior high schools. There are also special classes in most public elementary schools to support children with disabilities and other children with special educational needs. Yokohama has 513 municipal schools with approximately 280,000 students. These schools are centered around 3 main goals that focus on, first, fostering a broad knowledge and cultivation of the mind, 2, emotional and moral development, 3, sound physical development, and also the city is surrounded with cultural properties and historical and cultural areas that are great opportunities for interactive learning outside of the classroom. And now we'll hear from Common Joke Birdie about her city.
Hi, my name is Gavanjot Birdie, and my city was Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, which is right here. And although you may not be able to see it up close, this is Africa. So you get a general idea of where it's supposed to be, which is located along the east coast. So, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania has been experiencing informal settlements because of increasing poverty, a lack of infrastructure, and a lack of resources to maintain these infrastructures. Rapid urbanization, in addition to an increasing population, has also caused more people to move towards the city, looking for jobs, and when they find nothing, they have to set up somewhere. According to UN Habitat, 70% of urban population lives in informal settlements. Of that, 50% live off of $1 a day. That means they can't really afford even one Ferrero Rocher. It also means that they can't afford a Pop-Tart from FSU's vending machines because they are $1.25. Because these informal settlements have caused issues with infrastructure and service delivery, the government attempted to clear and replace slums, upgrade slums, or just evict people. In the 1960s, the National Housing Corporation tried to clear all the slums and then rebuild new buildings for people to come back into. But due to sustainability issues, this policy failed. The next policy involved upgrading slums, but this one also failed because the poor performance led to drawbacks in funding. So, now, the government prohibits removal of informal settlements, and that's according to the 1995 National Land Policy. And instead, they have to upgrade them now. In addition, the government's power to make these differences has been reinstated with the Local Government's Urban Council Act of 1982. In addition to trying to improve its informal settlement situation, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania is also trying to improve its education. According to the Human Development Index, the expected years of schooling for children in Tanzania is quite low at 5.3 years. According to the Primary Education Development Plan, PEDP for short, education was expected to form 25% of Tanzania's recurrent expenditure. In 2001, Tanzania abolished primary education fees for the second time since independence, which leads us to the capitation grant. This is where the government pays a fixed sum for every student in primary education. The value the PEDP was set for each child is $10 and was largely funded by donor partners. Of the $10, $4 is specifically reserved for the purchasing of books, and the remainder is left to the discretion of the school company with the idea that quality versus quantity is more important. In regards to unemployment, the Human Development Index says that Tanzania has an employment rate of 91.9 to the population ratio, which means unemployment rate is 8.1 to the population ratio. Dar es Salaam is one of the biggest ports in Tanzania that's in charge of shipping out Africa's natural resources and then bringing in manufactured goods. So the population is growing at a rate of 5.6% per year, and much of it is due to the in-migration of male youth from the rural areas who are attracted by this port and other areas for jobs. So the total unemployment rate for those 15 years and above was 31.5% in 2006. Some population trends, according to the World Bank, we will see is that firstly, the population of Dar es Salaam is approximately 3 million, and their informal settlements vary at about 44. Dar es Salaam is quickly growing and at the national average, and while the estimated annual population growth of Tanzania was 3% between 2005 and 2010, the city of Dar es Salaam has almost estimated a 2010 population of over 3.3 million and an annual growth rate of almost 5% during the same time period. So we see an explosion in the population where a lot of people are rekindling their love and helping increase population. And that's all I have for Tanzania, Dar es Salaam.
Thank you for taking the time to learn about our cities.
We hope you enjoyed this adventure as much as we did.